Hey, welcome to the Gov Shack. So happy to have you guys with me tonight, right at, well, a little bit past 8 p.m. on the East Coast for the Gov Shack. And as you know, I have to split up because of legal issues, my Sharpe Way stuff from my Gov Shack stuff, so that it is separate. So if you guys want to super chat me here, you may, but you have to super chat me through LarrySharpe.com/super chat because it's YouTube and that's how that works. So just so you know, that's what it is. So that's how that works. But no matter what, please click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. It does matter. As you know, I've cut my marketing in half. I've cut everything in half. It is challenging for me to do this, so I need to grow. So I need your help. So your help is with the clicking of the button known as like. Also reposting this someplace in any political venue that you may be running around in, whether that's a Facebook group or a YouTube page or whatever it is, doesn't matter. Put this someplace so that people can see it and go, I love that guy, or I hate that guy. I don't care. Pay attention to this guy. I need attention. Give me attention. So subscribe to my channel or page, whatever you're watching this on. Also, I know I bug you. I bug you because it matters. Some of you aren't doing that. I know, I can see. Some of you just go, I like Larry. I'm going to watch his stuff. I don't have to do anything. You don't. But you should. So please subscribe. You don't have to, but you should. So please subscribe. It's free. Click the button. You know what I'm talking about, or repost it someplace. Every little bit does count. So please do so. And if you've done it before, do it again. Every time you do it is going to help. All right. So something special happened recently, as I've mentioned in other shows, but that is that a guy named Bruce Blakeman has joined the fray. So that sounds good, doesn't it? Yes. All right. Bruce Blakeman is the Nassau County executive right now here in Long Island in New York. For those who don't know what that is, that's downstate. And he has joined the fray as a Republican to go against the one and only Elise Stefanik. Stefanik was supposed to be the heir apparent. She was the one who Trump was going to put her in, and that was the answer and all those kind of good things. And all of a sudden, he decided to step in. What does that mean? It means a lot. But I want to show you him, and I want to talk about him and tell you that, sadly, if you're a Republican, it doesn't really matter. This is an interview he did recently with Spectrum News' Susan Arbiter. I like Susan very much. She has interviewed me in the past. She really tries to do what is right and best, and she's open to independence. She's not like, just going to blow me off because I'm not one of the big boys. So she's been very good. This is her interview with him just 2 or 3 days ago, I think. It's relatively recent. And now you'll see how she is and how he is.
We're going to have a GOP primary to match the Democratic primary.
Now, she mentions the most important piece. For those of you who don't know, right, the Republicans were not planning on having a primary. They were just going to announce Stefanik as their Lord and Savior, and that was going to be the end. Well, as I warned you all, and I said it before, her fundraising began to dry up, right? So, yeah. And if you've been paying attention to this show, Mike Voss has been commenting on this show a couple of times, and probably on his own show, I assume also, that Stefanik's in trouble. And he was correct. And it is. And so Blakeman said, maybe I should jump in.
Between Governor Hochul and Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman announced his candidacy for governor on Tuesday, a little over a month after Congresswoman Elise Stefanik threw her hat into the race.
True.
Blakeman's resume is a long one. He served as...
He does have a good resume. I got to tell you, when it comes to people running for governor, right, in New York, he does not have a bad resume for it. His resume is better than hers. Now, he is a bit older. She's what, 37, 40, like in that area around 40. He's 70. So he's got like 30 years on her. So he's, obviously he's going to have a better resume, but his resume is better. So if you're looking at resume, yeah, she's kind of got that beat. She does a better
on the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, as well as on the Hempstead Town Council. He's also run for multiple state and legislative offices, and he received attention in 2024 for banning the use of masks to hide one's identity in the face of increased.
He has a better resume than Stefanik. That part is true. She's correct.
Anti-Semitism. Bruce Blakeman joins us now. County Executive, welcome to Capitol tonight. It's so good to see you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on.
So it seemed like Elise Stefanik was going to sort of breeze into the Republican nomination without a fight. What are the reasons you feel you would make a stronger candidate?
Now, this is the most important thing. She's on the money. She's like, okay, we all thought she was going to be the one, so everybody backed away. And it's true. Everyone did back away initially. They were like, you know what? It's her. Let's walk away. And even he did. He was talking about this. To be fair to Bruce Blakeman, he did bring this up as early as last spring. He kind of talked about it. He didn't say he was going to do it, but he talked about it. And then everyone just kind of walked away. And then all of a sudden he didn't walk away. So yes, let me grab a couple of comments right away. You guys have a bunch of these. Phil says, Elise Stefanik will wipe our tears away and make all things wonderful. She will come with gum, drops, and lollipops. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit nasally, guys. I am ill. I caught something from my kids about 2 days ago, knocked me out for about a day. I was struggling last night. For those of you who saw me on Chrissy Mayer's show, struggling with that. I took some symptom masker to do it. I'm trying to not take any symptom masker now so I could just keep going. I'm trying to do that. But you will hear me a little sniffly and my voice a little bit raspy. I'm not 100% yet. I'm on my way, though. I'm on my way. So there we go. All righty. Dee brings it up. Who else watched Larry Sharpe last night on Chrissy Mayer's YouTube channel? It was awesome. It was awesome. She's correct. I love Chrissy Mayer. Absolutely. Yes. All righty. Let me keep going down here. All righty. I got to grab that one too. Rick says, how many times has the end time redemption of our world been predicted? A better chance at being true than a Republican saving any real, being any real, but New York State. Yeah, there's no chance. Yes. John says, will you be on tomorrow afternoon? I will. Yes, I'm coming back on tomorrow at noon. I am holding on to that. Yes. All right. Mike says, hey, Mike, Siena poll shows both Republicans in deep trouble. Yes, that's true. The last poll I saw with Siena, if I remember right, I think Stefanik has a higher chance of winning, according to that poll, but not good. She's like 19 points behind, if I remember that right. And Blakeman's like 25 points behind. I mean, it's not good at all. So Michael Zona say, thus they need to raise, my estimate, 30 million to really even have odds at it. Both unlikely. Yes, but here's the problem with that, Mike. You're right. And are Republicans really going to drop $30 million on a no-win situation? Right? I mean, you could probably find some diehards, but to keep that kind of money going, you would have to see the polling change very quickly. You'd have to watch, it'd have to go 19, 17, 15, 30. You'd have to see that happen immediately. Otherwise, you would run out of money, right? They would stop. And if it was slower, then Democrats would just respond, right? And Democrats don't want to lose New York. They would throw another 10, 20 million into it. So, and Hochul's a bad candidate also. So it would be a massive spend of, I don't know, $150 million for Hochul to win anyway. Your point's a valid one. I just wonder, are there enough desperate Republicans in the country that will want to spend that kind of money on a guy like Blakeman? Again, not a bad guy, but you consider it. He's not knocking down doors, right? I don't know. I think you're right, and I don't think Republicans will do it. That's what I'll say. I think you're correct, and I think Republicans won't do it. So, yes. So he says, sorry I'm late, but Tom Holman just thanked Stefanik for our support from Fort Drum. So I had to get Larry in a conversation. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that. That's absolutely true. I appreciate that. Yes. All righty. Ironic says, Shelley, I'm getting more likes than hate comments when I mention Larry. You know, it's funny. I'm watching you guys do it, and please keep doing that. Mentioning me in comments is so important for people to see what I'm doing. I do appreciate that. I am seeing, if anything, some dismissive things like, oh, I can't win and that kind of stuff, but not as much negativity like I used to get, and also a lot of positive stuff or ignoring. I'll accept any of those. I agree. Yes. All righty. Mike goes, yes, I've said it several times. True. Delgado has the worst chance of everyone. Delgado is a joke. I've always said this, though. I think Delgado is not trying to win, though, right? I don't think he's trying to win, Mike. I mean, maybe you know some, I don't know. I don't think he's trying to win. I think his goal is just to become more well-known, and that's working, right? If his goal is to be more well-known and his goal is to increase his donor base, that's absolutely working, if that's his plan. And I believe that is his plan. So I think what he's trying to achieve is working. He was not unpopular, but he was a decently popular, congressman. Fine, whatever, not bad. But now being lieutenant governor, across the state, fighting Kathy Hochul, known across the state, running for lieutenant governor. I'm running for governor, known across the state. You and I are talking about him now, which you and I would have never talked about if he was a congressman. We would have never talked about him. So if I believe his goal isn't to win, I believe his goal is just to improve his donor base and get more people to know who he is for something further down the road. And if that's true, I think it's working. I think it's a good move. Again, assuming that is his goal. So yeah. All righty. All right. Andrew says, is he America first? Just throwing out for a friend. No, I don't think so, but we'll see. I would go probably no. So yes. All righty. Yeah, Mike goes, not exactly. Yep, there we go. He's kind of MAGA, but also stops. Yes. Yes. 100%. I think Mike's correct on this one. Agreed. Yep. All righty. I think I covered that one. Adirondack says 20% undecided of voting for Larry Sharpe. Generally speaking, what they'll do is they'll add something now to try to get me out. They'll add a thing on polling that says undecided / refused. Refused means someone said, how about Larry Sharpe? Well, he doesn't exist. That means refused. So a chunk of refused, I don't know how big that chunk is, but a chunk of refused / undecided is Larry Sharpe. I don't know what that chunk is. Is that 15%, 50%, 30%? There's no way for me to know what that is. Generally speaking, I don't poll less than 2%, and I don't poll higher than 9%. So it's probably between 2 and 9%. I haven't polled less than 2% in years. So, I mean, even when I got my 2% in 2018, that means I was polling at 4%, because whatever you're polling at, you get half, unless you're actually winning, right? So that means even in 2018, I was polling at 4%. So I've never polled less than 2 or higher than 9. So what's that average? 10, 5%. So my assumption is 5% of that is mine. And that's just based on an average that I made up. But my assumption is 5%. We'll see if that's correct. So I hope that makes sense at least. So, all righty. I grabbed that one. Super Weapon says, Larry, when you post YouTube shorts, can you put the name of the interviews / episodes you do in the description? Otherwise, it's impossible to find. I was curious to watch the one with the question about Obama. Oh, that was on Viva Fry. But yes, that one was on Viva Fry. Yes. Mike agrees with me. Okay. He says, exactly as Larry, neither Republican can raise that much money on a losing race without any leverage. I'm with you. I think we're on the same page, Mike. I think we're on exactly the same page. It is very challenging. All right. I went through a couple comments. Let me go down this road.
Well, as I travel throughout New York State, I talk to people from every region. And
all right. Now, she asked what makes you different. Why should you do it? And he can't have an answer. That's why he's going to fail. Right? That's why he's going to fail. Let me go back and get her question again so you understand. She asked a very important question, right? And here we go.
So it seemed like Elise Stefanik was going to sort of breeze into the Republican nomination without a fight. What are the reasons you feel you would make a stronger candidate?
Why would you make a stronger candidate?
Well, as I travel throughout New York State, I talk to people from every region.
Now, he's now trying too hard. I talk to he's name dropping left and right. I talk to these people from different regions, right? Why does he do that? Because Stefanik doesn't campaign. Why does Stefanik not campaign? Because she knows she's not going to win, doesn't care. I'm not making that up. He actually does campaign. Not very much. He also does fundraiser. I go to regular diners and gun shops and stuff, but it's fine. Listen to what he says. The question again was, what makes you a better candidate than Stefanik?
And basically, people in this state are miserable. They want to be happy again. You go down.
Talking about happiness. Why you stealing my stuff, Bruce? Why you stealing my stuff? Happiness, beef.
To Florida, you go to Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina.
What I've been saying?
The people are happy, and they're happy with their government. Here in New York State, people are very, very unhappy with the leadership of Kathy Hochul. And right after I won re-election on a night that was very bleak for Republicans throughout the United States, I won in a county with 110,000 more Democrats.
So the question was, why are you better than Stefanik? And his answer was, Hochul bad. Can you make this up? You can't make this up, can you? It's what I say always. Another Republican in New York State with no plan. Again, what makes you better? Hochul bad. He said it. I didn't say that. I say this all the time. I tell you it's going to happen all the time, and he did it.
By 36,000 votes. And it cut into every demographic. I got votes in demographic areas where Republicans usually don't get support. I got 56% of the Hispanic American vote.
So now he's talking about all the votes he gets, which is not a bad thing. He's right. This part, it's good that he says that, right? I get these great votes. He's not wrong. When it comes to crossover, he is better than Stefanik. That's true. Well, on paper, this guy's a better candidate. It's true. He's got a better resume, and his elections have he gets Hispanic votes, relative Republicans. He gets Hispanic votes, black votes, women votes. He does. He has a better resume. This is true.
I got the Asian American vote. I got independent women. And most Republicans get about 9% of the vote in the African American communities. I got 32%. That's unprecedented.
So broad appeal.
And Nassau.
She has to answer for him. Broad appeal. Now, she's not wrong. Stefanik does not have broad appeal. Stefanik is literally just popular with Republicans. Republicans do like her. I'm going to be very clear. In her world, Republicans do like her. That's true. But broad appeal? Not at all. Stefanik does not have that. He has better appeal. That's true.
County is a mirror image of the state of New York. Our demographics are almost the same as the state of New York.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so I think I have the broad appeal to win, and I have the experience to govern.
So President Trump.
Okay, he did say something finally. After going Hochul bad, he said, I have broad appeal to win and experience to govern. And he's right. Stefanik has no experience as an executive. He does. So yes, again, on paper, better candidate, better resume, and he does have more crossover. It's true. And I would argue that was the same issue in 2022. In 2022, when the Republican Party decided to just announce Zeldin, enough people decided, no, we're going to force a primary. And there were people who did other things. I mention this often. In 2022, they had, if you are a Republican in New York State and you went to the primary, you had options for whatever you wanted. If you're someone who's like, I want a conservative person, if that's the kind of Republican you are, I want a conservative. You had Rob Astorino. Rob Astorino is absolutely conservative. Nobody would doubt that. He is openly a conservative. Great guy. That's what he is. If you're a Republican and you go, I want a conservative, Rob Astorino was your guy. If you're like, no, I don't care about that. What I care about is crossover. I want a Republican who can cross over and bring in Democrats and bring in, independents. Fine, if you wanted that. Harry Wilson was right there. Harry Wilson used to work for Obama. He's much more a financial guy. He absolutely could cross over and get independents and Democrats. Of course he could, and he's independently wealthy. Okay, so that's good if that's what you want. I don't want any of those. I want a MAGA firebrand. That's what I want. Andrew Giuliani was right there for you. Definitely a firebrand, definitely a MAGA firebrand right there. So whatever you wanted as a Republican in New York State was there for you. Whichever one you preferred was there for you. Who won? Zeldin, the guy the elites picked, who had none of those things. None of them. Excuse me. None of them. And Blakeman, he's a better candidate than Elise. Elise has none of the things he's saying, but she's establishment.
Has stated twice publicly that both you and Stefanik are, quote, great people. Let's take a listen.
He's a friend. She's a friend. These are two great people running. In a way, I hate to see them running against each other. I hope they're not going to be damaging each other. But Elise is fantastic, and Bruce is. They're two fantastic people.
That, by the way, was a backstab. It might not have seemed like one. It was. That was a backstab. He was supposed to back Elise. But for some reason, he didn't jump on board right away. He has backed people before. He has. And Elise is, don't get me wrong, Blakeman supports Trump. He does. But nowhere to the level of Stefanik. Stefanik absolutely supports Trump. Whatever he says, I do. Like, she's 100% on board. And he was supposed to endorse her, and he didn't. That was a backstab. Why was it a backstab? Because even he knows Elise can't win. And Trump is tired of backing losers. He does not want to back a loser. That's not who Trump is. He wants to back winners. He will tell you that. He wants to back winners. So if he wants to back winners, he's looking to see who's going to win first before he says anything. So he's backing off. That was a backstab.
And I always hate it when two very good friends of mine are running. And I hope there's not a lot of damage done.
So that said, Bruce Blakeman, the New York Times is reporting that Trump tried to dissuade you from running, but didn't explicitly tell you not to run. What's the story there?
First of all, that's not true.
Okay.
The president made his feelings known. I'm not going to speak for the president. He said
he made his feelings known. Correct. I don't think he's lying here, but he's being a little bit shady. He's saying the president did not tell me not to run. Okay, maybe he didn't, but the president probably told one of his boys to tell one of your boys not to run. That's what probably happened, because that's how it usually works, right? So the president doesn't call up Bruce and go, Bruce, what are you doing? Don't mess with my girl. He didn't do that. The president said, hey, what's Bruce doing down there? Tell this guy stop. And then one of his boys told one of your boys, hey, stop. And Blake was like, yeah, but I can win this thing. That's what probably happened.
On 2 occasions that I was great and fantastic, and I'll take that.
Okay. Still, there is going to be an uphill battle for you against Stefanik. I think she's wrapped up over 75% of the weighted vote of the.
And this piece he's mentioning is important. If you get a certain percent, I think it's 50%, but it might be another number, a certain percentage of the votes of the county chairs, and the Republican Party weighs them somehow. I don't know how they weigh them. I assume by the votes that you get in like a gubernatorial election or something like that. I'm not sure how they do it. Mike Voss might know how they do it, but they calculate in some way to where each county chair has a weighted vote. And if you have X percent, I think it's 51%, they can actually just at the convention say, this is our person. There is no primary. Now, you can force a primary in the election law. You do that by getting 15,000 signatures from people of that party. So if if the Democratic Party says no primary, any individual who's a Democrat can get 15,000 Democratic registered voters to sign a petition, and there now must be a primary. The Republicans do the same thing. In 2022, all 3 of those guys, Andrew Giuliani, Harry Wilson, and Rob Estorino, all had to go get 15,000 signatures each. Now, they all were well enough known and had enough infrastructure and cash to do so. It takes time, money, and energy. They all did. That's how they did it. So Blakeman does have this amount of cash and bodies. He could do it if he wants to. That is a doable thing for him.
GOP county chairs, which means that you're likely going to have to convince some county chairs to switch their endorsements or get 15,000 signatures. What's your plan?
Yep.
Well, first of all, she doesn't have any percent of the weighted vote until the convention.
That's very true. Yes, she's got commitments.
Yeah, he's kind of scamming. The commitments do matter. These guys, unless they absolutely change their mind, the odds of them going back on their commitments without saying it are slim, right? If some county chair says, I endorse Stefanik, unless he goes, look, now that Blakeman's and I've changed my mind, the odds of him just going, nah, and changing are slim. I mean, it could happen. Backstabs happen. It's just rare.
She got a lot of commitments before I got in the race. And now that I'm in the race, people are having second thoughts. I've spoken to.
I think he's telling the truth here. This is true. I know people are like, wait a minute, maybe Blakeman's a better guy. Maybe we got a shot. I think he's right. Now, will that change? I don't know. Right now, he's shiny and new right now. So when you're shiny and new, oh, whoa, okay. And maybe not. For a minute, Stefanik was shiny and new. That kind of went away too. So we'll see where that goes.
Republican leaders and conservative leaders throughout the state of New York.
Interesting.
Many of them are saying to me that I have the better chance to win because I have the executive background. I haven't cut taxes I haven't raised taxes in 4 years, not even 1 penny. I've gotten 7 bond upgrades. I have the safest county in America, according to U.S. News and World Report, which isn't easy to do on the border of New York City. We have a county where our poverty rate is the lowest.
Okay, look, I like that he's saying all these things. I've done. Wonderful. what's your policy? Like, what are you going to do? I get you're a guy who's accomplished a lot. And I'm not taking over from him. It's true. He's accomplished a lot of stuff. It's true. Okay, there we go. What are you going to do? How are you going to fix the state? This isn't a county anymore. There's got to be something you're going to do. Grab some more comments real fast. Sam says, Republicans would need something like 30% of Democrats to cross over. I can't think of a single one in the country who could. That's why Larry's the only option for New York. By the way, 30% of the people who support me are registered Democrats. 30% are registered independents and 40% are Republicans. It's true. So, yes, I'm almost a third down the road. Almost. So, Mike says, Sienna's being dishonest by not asking about Larry or other, as they would put it, and seeing real public view. The polls focus on younger voters. That's factor two. Both of those things are true. And, of course, who's buying the poll, as is always. So, yes. John says, I think Delgado's goal is to cripple Hochul. He can damage her, but the real question is, will there be enough for opposition to make impact? I'm very skeptical of that happening. Why would he want to? Delgado is still a Democrat, right? He doesn't want a Republican to win this thing, right? If he can't win, he still wants Hochul to win if he can't win, right? So he doesn't want to do that. If he's responsible, imagine that they think he's responsible for Stefanik becoming governor of New York. He's finished. He's a betrayer. He's RFK Jr. in New York State. There's no way that I don't see that. I can't imagine that. I think he either believes he can win. I don't know how he could believe that, but people can be delusional. So perhaps he's, high on his own supply and he thinks he can win. Maybe. I don't think so, but perhaps. Or he's just trying to do something else. That's what I think the answer is. So that'd be my gut. So Missy says, if you're a New York resident, the donation of between $5 and $250 counts 6 times. $10 equals $6. Make every cent of your hard-earned money count at LarrySharpe.com/donate. She is correct. You can. If you live in New York State and you want to donate, you can, and please do so. Once I'm able to get 5,000 people to donate a total of $500,000, everyone who is a New York State resident, that will count towards matching funds, and New York State will match that $6 for every $1. So that means if I raise $500,000, which I will easily raise, New York State will give me $3 million. I'm not joking. And if every $1 million I raise, New York State will give me, from New York State residents, New York State will give me another $6 million. Yes, that's how Mom Donnie won. Don't forget how Mom Donnie won. Mom Donnie got $12 million in matching funds from New York City. You give me $12 million in matching funds, I am the next governor of New York. There's no stopping me. With that kind of money, no stopping me. Guys, if you can give, please give if you can, especially if you're from New York State, right? LarrySharpe.com/donate. This is also a fundraiser, as I always do it. This is a talk and a fundraiser. If you see what I'm talking about and it makes sense, then please head on over there, LarrySharpe.com/donate. If you can give me between $5 and $250 and you're a New Yorker, that's awesome. If you're not a New Yorker, please give anyway. Every bit counts, because the money you give me outside of New York, I will use to get New Yorkers to give me money so I can hit matching funds, right? So if you give me money from outside New York, I will use that to get matching funds from within New York State. So please do that if you can. I appreciate that. If you want to super chat me, you can do that if you would through LarrySharpe.com/super chat. That'd be amazing to do that. Of course, you can also join the volunteer team if you want to. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. That is, of course, SEAL Team Sharpe. I appreciate that if you can. I do need warriors out there as you're talking about it. I want people to be helping me out here if you can. If you want something for your donation, you can. LarrySharpe.com/shop. Shirts, hoodies, cups, bumper stickers, whatever you like. Pop on there, give a donation, and make that happen if you can. I appreciate it. All righty. Pop that one out. I think that works there. All righty. And I am now looking over on Rumble, and I see Pepperoni. Thank you for the $10. Larry Sharpe's going to break the Uniparty in New York. I hope so, brother. I am trying my damnedest to make that happen. I really hope that. Yes. Chrissy Mayer is watching over on Instagram. Larry Sharpe, do. Yes, indeed. That is me. I'm not a baby shark. I'm a Larry Sharpe. I can be baby shark or Larry Shark. Whatever gets me votes is what I am. That is what I am. So, yes. Let me go ahead and keep going through this. I want you guys to hear the rest of this interview.
Lowest in the state of New York. I want to make people in the state of New York happy again. I want to make them prosperous. I want them to be safe in their communities. I have that record. I have that background. I've done it in a county that's larger than 8 to 10 states.
Okay, that's someone told him to say that, and that's not really, a county that's larger than 8 to 10 states. Okay, yeah, larger than Rhode Island, right? Larger than Wyoming. I wouldn't say that. Just have done it at a county level and at New York State level. That part's kind of dumb.
I can do it for New York State.
So I want to ask you an upstate specific question. It's about tariffs, Trump's Canadian tariffs. They have taken a real bite out of tourism in the North Country and in Buffalo, and farmers are suffering in upstate New York. That's going to be a tricky thing for you to negotiate if you get into the race. How would you navigate that?
Well, first of all, the way I would navigate that is I would be spending more money on New Yorkers.
So how would you deal with the tariff issue? I would spend more money on New Yorkers.
New York first. Kathy Hochul over the last 3 years has spent over $4.5 billion on.
So again, what you constantly hear, how you gonna handle this? Hochul bad. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. Everyone knows Hochul's bad. Democrats know Hochul's bad, but all they know is Hochul bad. This is no different than going Trump bad, Mamdani bad. Same thing.
On illegal migrants who've been here for 15 minutes. They haven't earned anything. They're in this country illegally, but she gave them $4 billion of our tax money that could have been spent on tourism, money that.
What do you mean spent on tourism? We could have spent $4 billion on tourism? What are you talking about? This is just spend money.
Could have been spent on infrastructure, could have been spent on our schools and our hospitals, could have helped our farmers.
Okay, which the question was, what do you think about tariffs? And his answer was Hochul bad.
So I would rearrange the priorities of the governor's office to help people in New York first.
So my upstate viewers who are some of them are meeting you for the first time, Bruce Blakeman. What are some of the key policy differences between?
Okay, now she's now trying to get policy out of him. It's a third attempt to get some policy out of him. Third attempt. I have the opposite problem. I can't stop throwing policies out. I can't stop. So yes.
You and Stefanik, because the primary is going to come first.
What's the difference between you and Stefanik? Because the primary is going to come first. Now she says, what's your policy differences between you and Stefanik?
Well, first of all, I think we need a cheap energy policy here in New York State to make it more affordable. We've got
cheap energy policy. What does that mean?
To stop overtaxing people in New York.
Overtaxing. So I'm a Republican. I'm going to lower taxes. I've heard that for 40 freaking years. How? What? That's what you always say. That's Republican rhetoric. Same stuff. Talking points. What is look at her face. She's like, again, do you think Stefanik doesn't say that? Every Republican says that.
State, we are overregulating businesses.
Regulate. Same Republican BS I hear all the time. How? What?
We've got to stop that immediately. There's so many things.
See, she wants to cut off because it's like, I've heard this before. You're not saying anything. And Stefanik will say exactly the same thing.
The government can do to help businesses. I was with some labor union leaders just a couple of nights ago.
She tells about businesses and then goes to labor leaders. They're fighting each other. This is a non-answer. Now, here's the problem I have. Yes, he just announced. True. But he's been talking about this since spring. If you were serious, you didn't have policy ready? You didn't have a team to talk about it? No, why not? Because you're not going to win. You know you're not going to win. You don't care. You know you're not going to win. You don't care.
And we were talking about it, and they were very unhappy with Kathy Hochul. They felt that she wasn't.
Hochul bad. Remember the question. The question was, what policy difference do you have between you and Stefanik because the primary is coming up? And he says, cut taxes and regulation. Same shit you hear every time every Republican say. And next piece, Hochul bad. Is that what they told him to do? Is that what his people tell him to do? They are. Why? Because that is how Republicans will give them money. So he says he can cross over and then does not cross over.
for labor. She wasn't for creating jobs and economic opportunity and economic development in the state of New York. We are one of the most overregulated and overtaxed states.
We know this. Now you give me a history lesson. Garbage. This is why he has no chance either. Are any of you motivated by this? Many of you watching are either right-leaning or Republican. Are any of you like, oh my God, this is the guy? Are any of you saying that? No, nobody is. Yet again, nothing, rhetoric, garbage.
In the United States. And that's why people are leaving in droves. That's why businesses are leaving in droves. I want cities up in upstate New York, whether it's Utica, Rome.
Now we just starts naming some cities that he thinks because he just started crossing. See, if you'd been crossing for 8 years like me, you'd actually know which ones you're talking about.
Schenectady, whether it's Rochester, Buffalo, any area, whether it's Greece. I can name all of the counties and all of this.
I can name all of it. What, you've been studying them? I can name all. See, trying way too hard. Dude, you're a downstater. You're a downstater. It's okay. I'm one too, right? I'm not mad at you for being a downstater. I am too. But I don't try like this. I actually go out and meet them. There's a big difference between me and you. You're just like, I was on a map and I could point them out. I could too, but that's not enough.
Cities in the state of New York that are upstate that really need help, whether it's Plattsburgh, Jamestown.
I'm just going to name places.
And especially along the southern tier, we need to tap into those energy sources there.
So you're
for
saying
cheap
fracking.
energy. On one,
She has to help him. Susan has to help him because he can't come up with a competent policy. So you're saying fracking. You could have just said fracking. You could have just said fracking. So yes. So yeah. Yeah, of course. Anyway, keep going. Let me keep going.
Absolutely. On one side of the border in Pennsylvania, people are driving around in brand new Cadillac Escalades. And on the New York side of the border, they're driving around in rusty old 25-year-old pickup trucks. That's not right.
This is something that Stefanik wants as well.
Thank you. She actually says it. She goes, Stefanik wants this too. The question was, what makes you different? That's the question.
Just give me one area where you and Stefanik diverge.
Well, there's a few areas where we diverge, but basically, I'm a pro-choice Republican. I believe that.
Look, I'm a pro-choice Republican. So the difference, I'm pro-choice. So this is what Hochul does. Now he plays Hochul's game. We got to worry about the women's right to choose. In New York State, no, you don't. Not in New York State. It's the uses. The abortion, pro-choice, pro-life argument in New York State, let me be very clear, in New York State is a useless, stupid argument. It means nothing. New York State has codified the right to choose for women, rights to choose in law and in our Constitution. And we have a supermajority Democrats in the Assembly. There is literally zero, and when I say zero, I don't mean 1%, 0% chance that a woman's right to choose will be affected in any way, shape, or form in New York State. Zero. The point he brings up is irrelevant. It means nothing. It's the same shit Kathy Hochul brings up. Well, we got to protect women's reproductive rights. In New York State, no, you don't. You don't. It's not required. The battle in New York State, over, done, and wrapped up in a bow. One more time. Codified, not only in law, but multiple times in law and codified in our state constitution. Codified. This is a useless distinction.
A woman has a right to choose in the early term of her pregnancy. So I think that's the key difference. I think the fact that I have the executive experience and that she doesn't, I think those are key differences. I mean, I have run a county larger than many states. And we've done it in a way where we've gotten 7 bond upgrades. I didn't raise taxes a penny in 4 years, even though inflation was raging.
He's saying the same talking points again and again and again. Useless. This is all she said was, can you tell me something different between you and Hochul? I mean, you and Stefanik. I'm pro-choice, I guess, means nothing in my state.
We have the safest county in America. And I would say this to
same
voters
talking points.
Who voted for Kathy Hochul last time, who are unhappy. What have you got to lose? Vote.
So his response, what do you got to lose? Why should she vote for me? What do you got to lose? What's your policy? What do you have to lose? She's laughing at him now. Okay. He's not a bad candidate by, as I said before, by resume. Not bad. Resume is not a bad resume. His resume beats Stefanik's resume. That's true if you're just looking at paperwork. 100% true. 100% true. The issue here becomes, is he going to motivate someone? Right? No.
For Bruce Blakeman, and I have the prescription. I have the experience.
What prescription? You haven't said one policy. You have the prescription. No. You have the resume? Yes.
I have the plan to make
What plan? No, you don't. What plan?
us the greatest state in the United States.
So one more question. Long Island has an excellent Republican Party infrastructure. As you mentioned, we saw them buck the trend in this off-year election by re-electing you and other Republicans. Lee Zeldin, who hails from Long Island, did really well in the last gubernatorial election.
Stop
but
lying.
Not well enough. What are you going to do differently?
All right. So she asked good questions, right? He can't answer them, but she asked good questions, right? What makes you different from Stefanik? She asked 3 times. He did nothing of value. What's your plan of policy? She asked twice. No answer, right? I had a good resume. Okay, true, but that's it.
From what Zeldin did.
Well, Lee Zeldin ran a great campaign.
He did.
No, he didn't. Lie. Why are you guys saying that? Lee Zeldin's campaign was this: Hochul bad, more cops. That was his campaign. So what's he going to do? Hochul bad, more cops? Or more spending on, what he's going to spend more money on? What is he going to spend money on again? I forgot what he said. Oh, on tourism. Sorry. Hochul bad, more money on tourism? Is that what it is? That's not a good campaign. Kathy Hochul's a terrible governor and a terrible campaigner. So what's happened in the past 4 years? Has she become a better campaigner? No, she's still terrible. Is she a better governor? No, she's still terrible. Has she solidified more support by giving more jobs? Yes, that is Kathy Hochul's strength. Her strength is actually giving people jobs so they owe her. That is her strength, and she's good at that. That's why she does it. She's not good at speaking. She's not that smart compared to other executives. But boy, does she know how to hand out jobs and get people to owe her. She's very good at that, and she does it. What's he got? Since Zeldin ran 4 years ago, about 1 million New Yorkers have left. At least 3/4 of those would have been voting non-blue, either red or gold or something. They wouldn't be voting blue. If they liked it, they'd be staying. They're not. He said it. They keep leaving. Yes. So as the people who would vote for this guy keep leaving, you have to cross over to the people who are remaining, who are pissed off Democrats. Now, here's the answer all the time. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cough. The answer, well, Larry, people don't like Hochul, so they'll vote for the Republican. Oh, is that what happened in New York City? Or did they vote for the socialist? Yeah. They're not going to vote for this guy. They're not.
But, I think that basically he paved the way and laid the foundation
for what?
For common sense Republicans to win in New York State.
Do any of you honestly believe that Lee Zeldin paved the way for Republicans to win in New York State? What Republican bullshit. What an utter lie. Does he believe that? Does he believe that? Well, now that Zeldin did that, now we could win. Here's the sad part. There are literally hundreds of thousands of Republicans in my state who do believe that. Hundreds of thousands of them. And what I'm going to tell you, if you're one of those listening to me now, they are lying to you, and they know they're lying to you. They are stealing your money. Now, I'm asking for money too. Give me your money. I'm just not stealing it. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you exactly what I'm going to do, how it's going to work, what I'm trying to achieve. You can decide to give me money or not, but I'm not lying. They are literally lying to you. They lied to you in 2018. They lied to you in 2022. And they're lying to you in 2026. They've been lying to you, and they're not done. Stop it. At one point, you have to stop believing the lie.
State, and that's what I've been doing in Nassau County. As I said, I've gotten crossover Democrats, independent women, independent men.
The funny part is I have the opposite problem as this guy. I have too much stuff to say. He just keeps saying the same stuff. See, I've done.
Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans. I've gotten a record number of African Americans who have voted for me.
Because I got it. You love black people. Kathy Hochul does too. She teaches them how to read and swim and computers. What about you?
They like my leadership style. They like my policies, and they like the fact
that I'm
a regular guy. You can communicate.
I'm a regular guy as I sit there in my three-piece suits, pinstripe. I'm a regular guy. We all wear three-piece suits, pinstriped.
With me, you can come in my office. You can speak your mind, and I'm not a phony. I don't run away from my values.
All right. If I have to say I'm not a phony, so what are you saying? Did someone say you're a phony? Are you saying Stefanik's a phony? Or are you saying someone else is a phony? See, I listen to the words that they're saying, right? I get that. So if I was interviewing him, I'd say that. Did someone call you a phony? Yep. I think, what's that? The lady doth protest too much? Nobody says he's a phony. I didn't say that. Did you say that? Hey, Mike, did you say that? Mike didn't say that. Nobody said that. Pepperoni, you say that? Oh, no. Nobody said that. All of a sudden, he's like, I'm not a phony. Oh, no one said that. I'm a regular guy. Who said you weren't? Oh, could it be a three-piece pinstripe suit? Could it be a suit? Could it be that? Could be. Could it be you have nothing to say, the same thing 45 times? Could it be that? Could be. Imagine this guy on an hour-long podcast. Punishment. It would be punishment. Imagine him on an hour-long podcast. In today's world, you got to be able to yap. I yap 2 hours a night in my sleep. This guy couldn't do more than and she's not being mean to him. She's asking some serious questions, but Susan's not beating him up. She's not hitting him hard. She's not cracking jokes in the middle of it. I go on podcasts and they're cracking jokes every 5 seconds. I got to get back on track every 5 seconds. Yeah.
Using my principles. I stand up for what I believe in, and I think people respect that, even those people that disagree with me.
So when are you going to be up here?
I've been.
Oh. Stab. Now, for those who don't know, Susan now is much more of a heavy hitter than she was. She's always been very savvy and popular. She's very talented in what she does. But in 2018, when I would go see her, she actually had an office. I don't know if she still does, but she had, probably not now. I mean, she's a heavy hitter now. So, but she had an office that you could just walk into. I would literally go into the press room at the Capitol. It's a true story. You guys who were with me know. I'd walk in. I said, Susan, how you doing? You got time to interview me? She'd be like, you know what, Larry? Yes or no? Seriously, she just let me sit down and interview. That's how I first got Morgan McKay. She was up there too. I'd walk in. She was working, I think, was it Spectrum? Something, whoever she was working for. And I was like, hey, you got time for an interview? She's like, yeah, okay. And she just did it, right? So I would just show up in the press room whenever I was in Albany. I'd just show up and see if I can get an interview. And sometimes I'd got one. Sometimes I couldn't. They either wouldn't have time. They wouldn't be there, whatever. But sometimes I'd just walk in. Got time? Boom. And she'd interview me. So, yes, she's very good at what she does. And she would do it. And I was like, when you come up here, I'll interview you. That's what she'll do. She's not just saying it to be nice. She would actually do it. Here's the problem. She doesn't travel that much. Not like the crazy man like me who's traveling every month.
And up there, you just missed me the last time.
I did.
But I plan on being in the capital area. I was in the North Country, Southern Tier.
Now he's just naming things, right? And look, I get it. When you're a downstater, you've got to like name things. I understand. I do it sometimes too, but not like in a list. Like I'll say, hey, I'm going to be in the Southern Tier this week. I don't go, I'll be in Southern Tier this week. And then I also go to Northern Country and Central New York and Western New York. And then let me name some random cities. I don't do that. Right? Because I don't have to. He kind of does.
The Western New York, Capital District, Hudson Valley, Long Island, New York City. I will be all over the state, and I will be meeting
and putting people to sleep everywhere he goes.
People and expressing to them
I'll be expressing to them that I have a nice resume and a Hochul is bad.
My plan to make us a great.
You haven't said anything about your plan. She gave you 3 opportunities to give you a plan. Now, if she'd have given me the opportunity, she'd have had to shut me up because I'd have kept talking. She'd be like, okay.
Place, and make New Yorkers happy by putting them first.
So next time in the studio, how about that?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Now,
She's not joking, right? Susan's serious. She'll put him in the studio. She will. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that is the guy who has stepped in to fight Elise Stefanik. How broken is Stefanik? How weak is she when this is the guy who's going to challenge her? Now, look, he's not a bad guy. He isn't. You know, he's not a bad guy at all. But is he motivating people? I don't think so. So Mike Voss, still in the house, says Blakeman's appeal is very specific to Long Island, not statewide. No one knows him upstate or even New York City. This is true. Most people don't know him. But, Mike, I think if a lot of Republicans heard him in upstate and New York City, I think a lot of Republicans would be okay with him, right? I don't think he's anti-Republican. I think his pro-choice stance would turn some Republicans off. There's some Republicans who are very conservative. I think some of them might be turned off by that, but not often I vote for him. I think if he was the nominee, Republicans would vote for him if he was the nominee. Even with that, I don't think that's a deal breaker for most New York State Republicans. For some Republicans, you know, outside of the state, maybe New York State, they would take him. The question is, would they vote for him against Stefanik? And you saw that same poll, I think. He's getting crushed by Stefanik. In the primary poll, which is just Republicans. Right now, Stefanik's devastating him. But he does have some time. The primary isn't until June. So he's got some time. He's got 6 months to try to beat Stefanik. Could he? What I would say is if Trump stays neutral, he has a chance. If he doesn't, if Trump endorses Stefanik, that's the game, right? If Trump actually steps in. And my gut says if somehow Blakeman starts to gain fire. I mean, I may be pulling this directly out of my derriere, Mike, but for the sake of argument, let's walk down a fun road, Mike, shall we? We'll walk down a fun road. Blakeman takes fire. I can't believe I said that. Okay, it happens. Forget reality for a second. Blakeman takes fire. If he did, wouldn't Stefanik call in Daddy Trump as a favor? Help me out, Daddy Trump. Give me an endorsement. Blakeman's running. Would Trump do it? Only if he thought Stefanik could win. I think only if he thought Stefanik could win. So, yeah. Phil over on Rumble says, movie on Google Meet for the first 100 people. Oh, is that right? There we go. I love it. Let's do it. Sam says, why is he talking about identity politics? Cringe. I think he has to, Sam, because I think because this is what Hochul does. Hochul's very much that way, heavily on women. She does Black and Hispanic here too, but she's heavily on women. That's a big thing she talks about, women. So I think he kind of has to. That's why I mentioned independent women, because Hochul does that a lot. So Rick says Harris couldn't explain the progressive idea. Also true. Yes. John goes, Sam, that's all he has. Yeah, kind of. Yep. Absolutely. So, all righty. Shelley says Harris can't even explain herself in a book about herself. Also true. Also true. Yes. All righty. Here, I grab this here. Shelley says maybe we need to spam Trump with reasons to back Larry. Yes. Do that. That will drive them crazy. Trump's never going to endorse me, but that's fine. That will drive them crazy. So yes, not because he would, because he won't, but that would drive them crazy. So yes, that because you get a lot. We get a lot of engagement with that, Shelley. So yes, that's great, but please do not expect Trump to endorse me. That's not going to happen. So there we go. Oh, Mike, thank you. Mike says it's weighted. The weighting of votes by population. Okay, thank you. I didn't know how. Mike knows. Thank you. Yes, that's how in the case of the Republican county chairs, each chair doesn't just get one vote. They get a weighted vote based upon something which I wasn't sure. Mike has let me know now. It is based on population. There we go. So they get a weighted vote based on population. There we go. So, all righty. Adironic says, searched Elise policies and got Elise top priorities. A bulleted list of core campaign promises. Promises are not policies or plans or any of how to fulfill those promises. Correct, because there aren't any. Yes, there aren't any. So, yeah. Easy day. All righty. Shelley says, Trump has a little libertarian in him. Smaller government, lower taxes. There are times. when Trump does libertarian things. It's true. He does libertarian things sometimes, but he's not libertarian. But he does do some libertarian things. And it's true. He does here or there. You will find many politicians who once in a while will do a libertarian thing. And when he does, we should say so, right? I'm not mad at that. I just don't want to call him a libertarian because he's not that. But he does do sometimes libertarian things. That's true. Absolutely. It does happen. So, all right. Let's see here. Shelley goes on to say he went to the regions, Mike. We know a guy who goes every county. Also true. Phil says, I wonder if Delgado would run to replace Schumer. Schumer is no Boychik. Look, I think he might. I think Delgado has some plan for the future. I don't know what that plan is. I just can't imagine him thinking he can beat Hochul. Again, maybe. I mean, perhaps he's delusional. I mean, people do become delusional. I don't see it. Delgado doesn't seem delusional to me. I think he's looking for some other next step. Someone's convinced him that, oh, if you do this, then you could become senator, or do this, and then you can become whatever, Secretary of State, if whatever Harris wins or whatever. I don't know. Someone probably told him something like that. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. So he says, how close are we to 5,000 people? We're actually pretty far away. About half of the people who give me money are outside of New York State. I get a lot of money from outside of New York State. So we're still about 3,000 short from 5,000. So we have a lot more to go, which is why I keep bugging you to give me the $5, because I need numbers of people, not just dollars, right? So that's why I'm bugging you, Shelley. If someone's out there, and they owe you $5 and you want to hook me up, have that person give me $5 on my website instead, because that'd be another person. I need 5,000 bodies. I'm about 3,000 short. So it's a lot. I need more bodies. I need more people. So if you're like, hey, Larry, I love you, I can afford to give you $50. Great. I love that. Please have you and your buddy give me 25 each, because I have 2 people now. So yes, bodies do matter. Look, in my perfect world, a whole lot of people would give me $5 a month. Like, actually, my perfect world is $25 a month. I love $25 a month for the next 10 months. That's what I would love. Everybody give me $25 a month for 10 months. I'd be so happy. That'd be awesome. And keep popping that up. Get 5,000 people to do that. Life is good, right? So I need people to start giving. Individual people matter. That's how the system works. I didn't make the rules. That's the rules. So yeah, hope that makes sense at least. All righty. Let me keep going here if I can. All right. You guys are going back and forth a lot. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that a lot. Yes. Okay. That's good. Done. I keep going on that one then. Okay. Now, yeah. Baby shark's like in my head now. I know it's true. Yep. Okay. Adirang says, Larry Sharpe is the only politician I've ever donated to. Thank you. Also, non-coincidentally, Larry is the only candidate I feel has never lied to me. Thank you. Yes, I haven't lied. Not yet. Maybe one day I will. It's possible. One day I will. And if I do, I hope you will all call me out and punish me horribly. I hope if I ever do, I hope you will call me out and punish me horribly. Now, every once in a while, I am wrong. It does happen. It's insanely rare. It does. But when I am wrong, I do say so. It does happen once in a while. Very rarely. Don't get your hopes all happy there. All right. So, yes. And it says, if you spend more, you tax more. If you tax less, you spend less. Mark this, Larry. Well, sadly, that's not always true because debt. Right. And how New York State has run, because New York State officially has to balance the budget. Most of you don't know this. Officially, New York State has to balance the budget. This is true. Here's how they scam. They balance the budget because they can service debt. I know that is insanely stupid, but absolutely how New York State works. See, their budget is balanced if they're able to service debt. This is the kind of stuff that drives people crazy. Wait a minute. So you're in debt? Yes. So how'd you balance the budget? We can service the debt. What? We can pay our bills. Okay. But your bills include interest and debt. Yes. So how are you balancing the budget? We can pay our bills. So literally New York State says, imagine this, Andrew. You are $1,000 in debt at the end of the month. You go, I need to balance my budget. Maybe I should cut my spending, or maybe I should make some more money or something, right? No, take out another credit card. Why not? Well, if you take the credit card, take the first credit card to start servicing the debt on the other credit card. budget balanced. That's New York State. Now that'll last for several months, maybe several years, because I'm using the second credit card to service debt in the first credit card. Okay, so now I'm in trouble again. I'm $1,000 next month in trouble, and a year later I'm in trouble. Okay, what do I do with the credit card? What do you mean in the credit card? Yeah, because then I can service the debt on both of them now. Oh, budget balanced. That's New York State. Yes, absolutely. So Shelley says the entire country knows Hochul's bad. True. Rick says Hochul probably knows Hochul's bad. Doesn't care. So maybe true, and she doesn't care. So that might be true. She doesn't care. If she cared, she wouldn't do what she does. So, yes. John says, just saying I want to make people happy again is empty promises. He gave nothing in terms of what he wanted to do to make us happy. He's just saying the words. Yes. Someone told him that, and here's the reason why. I'm going to be very forward. I don't think he watches my show. I don't think he cares at all. Does he know who I am? He does. But he doesn't watch my show. Do his people watch my show? Yes. So do Kathy Hochul's people. One of them is watching this right now. I'm not joking. I'm sure it's happening. They watch it, or they're going to watch it later, but they watch it. They always do. I know because they copy my stuff. They see what I'm doing. So one of his people watches this show. One of Stefanik's people watches this show, right? Of course they do. They want to know what I'm saying, how I'm talking. That's why he used half of my stuff. Of course. Their people watch my stuff and then go back into their group. They have none of them has actually a policy team. That's not a thing. Only I have a policy team. None of them have policy teams. What they have is communication teams. And seriously, you ask them, they do. They actually have communication teams. In their communication teams, I saw Larry Sharpe's show. He's saying X, Y, and Z. They decide if it matters or not. It doesn't matter. They ignore. It does matter. Then they talk about it. That's how that works. So yes. All right. John goes on to say cheap energy policy. And again, no policy. Correct. Yes. Mike says, how do we get cheap energy? He didn't say. Yes. He has no clarity. True. They don't care. They don't care at all. Absolutely true. Yes. All righty. I think we covered that piece there. John says Buffalo and Rochester have zero chance of voting for this guy. True. They're not going to. I agree. They're very deep. They're very deep blue. They're not going to vote for him at all. Yes. So, all righty. I covered that one. All right. Shelley goes, he's naming places with a military base, so colleges are both. That's good. That is good. All right. The competition aren't sending their best. They're sending only those who will actually go, right? Southern Tier hates fracking, says Mike. The idea will lose him votes there if that's his plan, which isn't clear. I know Southern Tier acceptable. I know. Mike does know Southern Tier very well. And what I've always said when it comes to fracking is let people decide. And if Mike knows this, there's about 14, maybe 13 counties that are kind of considered that area that could frack. I think it's about 13 counties or so that could frack. And like 12 of them have already passed regulations that they don't want to frack. So Mike's correct. I think most people in Southern Tier don't want to frack, but my issue is the state should not be banning fracking. Fracking should be left to local people. And Mike is correct. Most people in Southern Tier actually don't want to frack. So I think one county, I think it's 12 or 13, I forgot the exact number, are under Southern Tier that could frack. Almost all of them have already said, we don't want it. One of them, I think, hasn't said they want it, but has not actively said they don't want it. So maybe one county might frack, maybe, which is why my policy doesn't include fracking. My policy says don't mandate or ban fracking. Allow local people to decide if they want it or not. It's their land, let them decide. But I want to go nuclear. I'm ready to go nuclear. If people want to frack, they may. Southern Tier, Mike is correct. Most people do not want to frack. It's obvious. You can see it already. They don't want it. So, yes. All righty. Andrew says, aren't all New York Republicans pro-choice? No. He goes, and gay. Not most, not all. I'm kidding. I like teasing him. It's kind of funny. So, yes, that's good. All righty. Grabbing that one is good. All righty. Okay, that's good. We've got so many of these. I love this. John says, his sales pitch is unconvincing. I want Blakeman, Delgado, and Sharpe debate. Oh, imagine that. I like that. Southerham says, I don't want fracking in New York. I have friends from Central PA, and at times they could light their tap water on fire. There's 4 nuclear reactors in Saratoga County. 9% of people don't even know it. Yes, I agree. Most people, Mike is correct. Most people in New York State actually don't want to frack. But again, that isn't the point. The point is the state government should not be banning it. Let the people decide. If they decide they don't want fracking, and again, most don't, fine, don't frack. Why should I step in and go frack? Even when I talk about my nuclear power plants, I say the same thing. Plebiscite first. Do the people want it? You don't want it? Don't do it. You want it? Pop it in. Lots of people want it. Lots of people want it. Let them have it. It's your land. It's where you live. Do it. Yes. All righty. John says Zeldin was a downright huckster and a goddamn cheat. Missed the photocopy. That's true. Those who don't know, when Zeldin tried to get on the ballot as an independent, he actually photocopied 11,000 signatures. True story. So yes, very true. All righty. Let's see here. I got that one already. Okay. Got that one already. Wow. Okay. Michael's going to say, in Long Island alone, no one knows him, and he's offering no reason to get to know him. Well, he is the guy who isn't Stefanik. That is his reason, right? That sadly, that's probably basically his only reason is that one. There aren't that many. So yes. E6022 says, Thorium Larry, the nuclear option. True. Yes. I completely agree. That is the answer. Yes. All righty. He goes, cheap energy is new free buses. Nice. I love that. Nice. That's good. Okay. John says, servicing their debt. Who does it for the state? Oh, yeah. No, we just take out more debt. Right? They just take out more debt. You take out more debt and then say, well, we can afford to service the debt. Therefore, we're okay. Oh, sometimes they renegotiate debt. So what you'll find often is the controller will renegotiate debt. And then as you renegotiate debt, we go, see, now we're good because we've renegotiated debt. So yes. All righty. Okay, that takes care of that. John says, I think AOC will dethrone Schumer. Maybe Delgado goes back to Congress. Maybe, but remember, there's 2 senators. Maybe AOC takes Schumer and then he takes out, Jesus, what's her name again? The other, I forgot her name. Well, Sebastian, no name of my senators. The other one, who's also useless. Both of those. Maybe he wants the other one. So, yeah, perhaps that's what it is. It could be that. I could see him going for the other one. Possible. I could see that. So maybe. So anyway, I think I've covered that piece. Sal says, between Twitter and local press, Stefanik comes off way more of a neocon, is a reverse than a Trump loyalist. I could see both. But though neither one of those are bad for most Republicans in New York State. She can do well in Republican circles. The question is, how does she get out of that? When only 23% of Republicans 23% of New York voters are Republicans, you got to get out of that, right? Most Republicans still like Trump in New York State, at least. I don't know about outside the state. Most still do. Some don't. Obviously, some get mad at him, but most still like him. Most like Stefanik. Most don't mind if she's a neocon or an Israel firster or a Trump loyalist. For most Republicans in New York State, none of those are deal breakers. Like, yeah, it's fine. They may not be that. Obviously, not every Republican's a neocon or whatever. Of course, not all of them are. But for most Republicans in New York State, none of those things are deal breakers, right? For most of them. The question becomes, how do you cross over, right? That's the issue. How do you cross over? Yeah, Sam goes Gillibrand. Thank you, Gillibrand. Yes. So I could see maybe he's going to go off the Gillibrand seat. Maybe that. I could see that. That's possible. That's definitely something he could try. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the answer. Maybe someone's, decided that that's his next step. I could see that. Maybe. Guys, I'm asking you if you could, please make sure you click the button known as like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ill here, as you can tell. I'm just catching up and getting rid of that cold, or whatever I had. Repost this if you haven't reposted it. Please do so. It does matter. If you have not subscribed to this channel or page, please do so. Every subscription matters. Every like and follow does matter. I'm trying to grow this. As you know, I had to cut everything in half because I have to do my Sharpe way separately, legal reasons for this. So please do that. If you want to support, please donate. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Remember, if you live in New York State, you can be matched 6-1 by the state. And I will be reporting coming up here in 2 weeks. So if you want to donate, donate in the next 2 weeks after report January 1. Yes, some report comes out on how well I'm doing. You will see. Don't ask me how I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you. You will see it in January. I don't want you to feel like, oh, he's doing so well, I don't have to give. You got to give as much as you can. Please give before, give the next 2 weeks. It does matter. Please do so if you can. You can also super chat me, as I always say it. Volunteer does matter. Please volunteer if you can. And when you volunteer, we found that some of our emails are going to junk folder, not spam, junk folder. Please check your junk folder in case it goes there. It does matter. And remember, after this is over, please put a comment down if you would. Please put a comment down after this is over. It means Mr. Rhythm likes it. Algorithm loves it. And if this is not live, you may see till the videos pop up. Watch one of them right away. I'll be on tomorrow at noon. I will be on tomorrow at noon. And then again, I'll be on in the evening. I will see you all very soon.